Today I'm here to talk to you about creating educational games and what the differences are between creating educational games or family fun games. Here are some of the most popular family fun games today, and these are some of the most popular educational games. So, what makes them different from one another? What are the unique aspects of each type of game? What makes each game marketable and successful? Why are there even differences between them anyhow? Well, that difference relies in the purpose or the audience of the game, or the rhetorical situation. Today I'm going to talk about educational games and how you as game makers can adjust the process of game making in order to make a better marketable game to sell to teachers and homeschoolers all over America. The purpose of educational games is different from the family games like Trouble or Life. The purpose of educational games is to teach information while at the same time being fun and engaging for students. So first, the audience must be identified, or these students must be identified. Jennifer Shepard comments on the selection of a target audience from her own experience creating an online educational game for a Forest Service research lab. She eventually selected the target audience of 6th to 8th graders after researching the state guidelines for the science curriculum. This shows an extra step in creating a successful educational game because it shows a step that goes beyond the traditional solely fun family games. Game makers must ensure that they are targeting an audience who is appropriate to receive the information they are trying to teach. In making educational games, we must first address who the appropriate audience is for the information. This step involves research, as Shepard shows, into what we are teaching students and when in our education systems. Only after the appropriate age range has been developed can the medium and choices about how that information will be displayed and shared can be decided. But in the case of online educational games, how can we be so sure that the target audience will actually have access to the game? Shepard noted that the computer programming she used to create her game was not available to her intended audience. The school computers did not have enough systems to support the programs the game was created on, and the school blocked the students from downloading Adobe or any other programs to the computer. As a result, Shepard watched as the students did not have access to the multimedia elements such as the videos and animations, which caused them to struggle. What was meant to be the accompanying text, which went in more detail than the animations, was the only thing the students had access to, causing them to lack understanding when they were asked to apply this information to a later interactive portion. Coyle et al., a group of card-style educational game makers, speak to a solution to this downfall. They tell of how they took part in extreme playtesting during the creation process, where they had all of their family and friends and anyone in their target audience that they could get to play the game over and over again. They played the game so many times that they were sick of it by the time the game was published. By doing so, they were able to ensure that their target audience was able to access all parts of the game and would not be missing any important components of the lesson. This can be utilized in an online version as well, going into schools during playtesting to ensure that their computers can keep up with it, even if you just go on the computer yourself. But these games need to be fun, but also educational to be a beneficial game to these educators, right? How do we ensure that the needs of both of these groups are met? Shepard noted the issue of complexity of the information that they wanted to pass on to students. As scientists were focused on teaching information that was above the students' heads, making it unlikely that they would learn from the game of such a high caliber. This raises an interesting point in how game makers must see the needs of both interested audience groups, the professionals and the students, and find a way to meet or balance the needs of both audiences. So, how can this be done? Break the game into 2 parts. Teach the information in a background section before moving on to a more game-like portion of the module. Include a variety of modes: videos, animations, voiceovers, sounds, anything that can add to the game, and use these different modes to provide a higher understanding version of the information and a more basic, easily understood version. Don't be afraid to talk to members in all audiences and interested parties. See what students, teachers, and professionals in the field would like to see in a game and balance it all into one coherent game. So, ultimately, you as a game makers want to be able to create a game that you can sell and make profit off of. And your demand is coming from teachers who want to use these games to help students to grasp educational ideas. This requires careful attention to the selection of your target audience and their ability to receive the information you want them to, both educationally and with the materials available to them. You want to make the games interesting for the students, but you also need to balance the needs of professionals and teachers that require the game to actually teach something to the students. You have the power to help shape the education of millions of American students. Thank you.